Sportsline Podcast on a busy Friday, and I'm telling you, we're talking a lot of baseball these days, folks. You know, back in January, we were introduced with the news that the city of St. Catharines and the Niagara region was going to be the first ever Canadian home of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. The 16-team outfit is the premier summer collegiate wood bat baseball league and is sure for the best up-and-comers to take their skills to the highest level. Folks, the Iron Age is nearing its debut. The franchise is called the Niagara Ironbacks, and I need you to listen to this endorsement.
Congratulations to the Niagara Ironbacks on their first season in the Perfect Game Summer League. It's great baseball and great people. Be sure to go out and support them.
Well, we have a couple of leaders of the franchise. Mal Romanin has been in a couple of times talking baseball with me. So excited to bring in your new field manager. You introduce.
Well, he's a legend of the game. He's obviously been in baseball for many, many years. We won't say how many. I don't want to date him too much.
But dating all of us.
Well, I know we're all getting up there, not getting any younger. So Richard Griffin is my new manager, and he's got a lot of experience in the game, and particularly coaching elite baseball, which is key for me, obviously, as my first field manager in this endeavor. So welcome aboard to Rich Griffin.
Sure, Rich, obviously great to have you on the Sportsline Podcast, and been reading your stuff, been watching your stuff for so many, many years. And this has got to be a real fun and exciting time for you to be taking your skills as a manager to the highest level.
Oh, yeah. I've managed this age group a lot in Oakville, and we had a really good team in Burlington. And we've had players this good coming back for the summer collegiately, but never a roster this deep. And it'll be fun. It's exciting. I've worked with 19 Major League managers. I won't say how many years that covers, but starting with Gene Mauch. You remember Gene Mauch, right? Gene Mauch was the little general and the strategist. I might leave some of that small ball alone because these kids want to swing the bat. And what excites me is the depth of the talent and that every pitcher that we send out there has been successful in the collegiate level in the U.S. And it's going to be a terrific summer of aggressive baseball in St. Catharines. You know,
Mal, when we last spoke, I mean, there was the growth of what you're doing. As you said, a lot of hard work was going into getting ready for opening day, but there was a lot of loose ends that needed to be tied. And, of course, getting a manager, fielding yourself with players were all the things that, that you were working on. So, I mean, obviously, the players was the last thing I guess you needed to really focus on. But when you were looking for a manager, what were you looking for?
Well, I wanted somebody, obviously, with some experience, and that was important, especially year one. Somebody that's been there before and knows the game inside out. When these guys come in for the summer, they're looking to refine their skills, have some fun, too. And I want them to leave as a better player than when they got here. So a guy like Rich obviously fit the bill completely, so he can bring them. And, I think they're going to enjoy playing for him. He's been in the game a long time, too, so he'll be able to tell them some stories along the way as well. But teach them the finer points, especially with our pitching coach, Mike Nightingale, that's on board with us. He's tremendous amount of experience, and with Griff. So Griff just checked all the boxes for me, and I think year one we're going to have a lot of fun in St. Catharines. There's no doubt about it.
Griff, when you were doing a lot of baseball in Oakville, and that was a juvenile, novice, all these levels here, were you aware of the Perfect Game Collegiate League?
I was not aware of it, and I did know Cape Cod, and there's been an expansion of that type of summer league. And the important thing here is it's a wood bat league. So scouts are involved in terms of seeing how players can handle wood bat. And U.S. Collegiate is mainly metal bats and composite bats. And this is going to be exciting. And as you know, Bubba, I'm not going to be in this for my personal one-loss record, because it's a little late for that.
I don't know what time to improve
so what
that
I will be in it is to see the development of these players, and the 38 spring trainings that I was at and the 19 managers I've worked with and hitting coaches and pitching coaches will allow me to give them a solid comparison and a base of what major leaguers do. And I think that's important for them to take their next step.
I think that's an important thing that Griff talks about. And you can talk about having all the experience that you've had, but the fact that he has been at the highest level with teams, a legendary team that's still no longer with us, unfortunately.
Right.
A team that is
Should
with
be.
us right now, really should be. Like,
That's right. Let's be honest.
That's its own podcast. But also the fact that he has worked with kids, that has got to be something with you, because the kids are, from our era to kids now, are different beast. And the fact that you have someone that, with all that experience, but also can still be relative to kids at this age, it's got to be really important for you.
Well, and that's what I mean when I said checked all the boxes. I mean, there's not too many guys like Rich that have the baseball experience he does. Let's just be honest. I mean, a lot of guys can coach baseball and coach elite baseball, and they do, and there's tremendous coaches out there. But not a lot of them have been at the major league level at the same time the way Rich has, and been able to have the conversations and experience the day in, day outs of how managers operate, talk to them, how they make moves. I mean, and how they relate to players. I mean, I've been with Griff for a long time, so we've had many conversations. We've been in those clubhouses and locker rooms just to get the feel of how managers and how major league organizations operate. And I can't think of anybody else who's had all that well-rounded experience like Griff in dealing with the kids at the same time, and elite players coming up, and yet obviously professional baseball players and those elite managers he speaks about. He's checked all the boxes.
Bubba, I think that remaining relevant with that age group is important, and I've been dealing it with players of that age for so long. My two sons coming up as catchers and playing for me, but I think remaining relevant is going to be something that needs to be proven. And one of the things is that our pregame batting practice is going to be to the soundtrack of 90s hip hop. Just saying.
That's my era. Yeah. I'm all in for that.
On that note, there's an immediate pool in the Jays press box on the over-under ejections for Griff. So, I mean, I won't tell you what the number is, but
okay, fair.
Yeah, probably over.
That's right. Yeah. That's okay. Team secrets are okay.
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
I don't need to know. But but Griff, with all, I mean, let me ask you. And I don't want to put you right on the spot, but I will. You've been involved in baseball for how many years?
Opening day of '73. So this is my 53rd major league season.
Wow.
With 19 managers and 39 straight World Series that I went to. You name a major event in a World Series, and I was probably at it. Kirk Gibson's home run, the earthquake in '89 in San Francisco. All of the big moments I've been at, so nothing is going to surprise me except an earthquake. This summer.
Before I ask you the question that I was kind of leading to, I got to ask you right now as you say that, do you have a favorite? Is there a favorite moment?
I think it's got to be the Kirk Gibson home run, because my assignment as a PR guy, I was a commissioner's PR guy in 1988, and I was going down to the losing clubhouse. I was assigned to go to the Dodgers clubhouse. And as I was walking along the ramp, Gibson was going through that hole at bat, and as he homered, an unbelievable moment in World Series history. Yeah. I turned to the guy that was working with me. I said, I guess we're going to the winning clubhouse. So that's a memorable moment that I'll never forget.
So then my next question will be why? Why do this? Because
the passion for the game is there. Because I've been in that. That's all that my life has been surrounding, is the game of baseball. And I believe that I have teaching and education that I can pass on to these kids and make them better. And I like my brand of baseball, aggressiveness at all times, and keeping the other team on their heels and making things happen. And I think the fans that come to the game will love that type of baseball.
Let me just review, because you and I have talked about this, but I think for anyone that's just tuning in for the first time to the Sportsline Podcast, talking Ironbacks baseball, what is the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League?
Right, so the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League is a summer elite league. It's kind of like an all-star league for all-star players. There are already guys on scholarships, mostly in the U.S., and when they're off school time, they play in these elite leagues such as the Cape Cod. Perfect Game is the one in New York State. It's a very good league. Just for reference, it's only been in existence for 10 years, and there's 38 guys that have made the major leagues. So we're averaging about 4 a year, and the Ironbacks are hoping to add to that total, obviously, as we go along. So it's a high-quality league for elite college players. So it's not, you're seeing some real guys coming through this league that are going to end up on your TV screen one day. So that's kind of what we're trying to build here. And we're also trying to highlight the Canadian talent as we grow this thing, as we get this, our program moving forward. We want to highlight the elite level Canadian talent so everybody knows how good that talent is. So the Perfect Game League has been in existence for 10 years, and it's growing rapidly, and it's really producing some quality players, and we're excited to be a part of it.
Bubba, one thing that I just was made aware of a few years ago is that there's more scholarship athletes playing baseball, double the number that are playing hockey in the U.S.
Wow.
And Bob Elliott has those numbers, the legendary Bob Elliott Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, Cooperstown. And it's something that when I started in the game didn't exist. I mean, you were lucky to get a dozen guys playing in the U.S. colleges, and now it's over 1,000.
And I think what I've noticed, too, is that when you talk about those days of the players that maybe did have a chance, you were always from the West.
That's right.
But now I'm starting to see some kids from Ontario that are getting opportunities.
Hence why we're here, and hence why we entered this team in the New York State League and obviously in St. Catharines. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention again how hard everybody's worked to put this team here. The mayor, Matt Sisko, his efforts, and the great people of Meriton. It's the city of St. Catharines, but the town of Meriton, where that ballpark is, they really take a lot of pride in that, and that's I'm excited for the people there to
let's go right this because
rebrand that.
You posted a picture.
Yes.
And I always say this. I'm a soccer fan, a football fan, a hockey fan.
Right.
There's so much, but there's just something romantic about baseball that you just can't. You can't explain. And you posted a picture, and this is me. Maybe someone else won't feel this way, but you posted a picture on your website of George Taylor Field.
Yes.
And I just look at that, and I was like, look at that. Look how beautiful this picture is. You've got to be it looks in better condition than I've ever seen it.
It is in great condition, and the city's obviously been a great partner, and they've committed, and they're going to commit to doing more improvements. I mean, year one, we're building this thing, but in year two, we're having a deck built in the left field. It's going to overhang left field wall, so it's going to be a real nice party area. The drainage is going to be improved, but the grounds crew, Rob on the grounds crew, has done that field is exceptional right now. It's ready for these guys to show up in a couple of weeks, and for us to get rolling. And the response has been great, and it's about bringing the St. Catharines Stompers, Blue Jays were the last there in 1999, and as you know, guys that went through there like Henkin and Vernon Wells and Delgado went through there. So we're trying to just bring that kind of nostalgia back and bring that park back to life for what it was designed for. And it's just been a great journey along the way, and we're getting a good response. We just signed Quench Hydration as well, so they're going to be a jersey sponsor.
More sponsors.
Yeah, but that's a big Canadian company now that's in the hydration market, and you'll be seeing a lot of them involved with us and cross promotion. So,
love it.
Yeah.
Bubba, you talk about the nostalgia of that ballpark, and I remember the first time I was there in '97. I had driven down to interview this young prospect, Vernon Wells, and I was at that ballpark. And now for me to go back and be a manager in that same ballpark is really, don't think any less of me, but there may be a tear in my eye.
No doubt. I can understand that. Why that's so important.
Yeah, but I'm a macho guy.
It's all right. You're a manager. He's a manager.
Yeah, the grizzled vet manager.
Veteran manager.
Yeah.
These are all words we use in the broadcast business,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
Grizzled veteran.
That's right.
Hey, we talk about the players now, and obviously now this is the crazy part because you're not just grabbing one person like a manager and then he takes care of, taking care of his own staff. Or now you got to just assemble players. You're in essence the general manager of this team. Fair?
Fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The travel secretary too, and the social media guy and the marketing guy. That's just the way it is. It's you know how it is.
First year franchise.
Yeah, and minor league type that environment. You're doing everything. You're building the organization from the ground up. So yes, I am the general manager. Correct.
Okay.
Correctamundo.
Help me out here. How do you assemble? How do you assemble a team of players, a talent pool?
Yeah, and I will say that's, with us having a later start in our first year, it certainly was a challenge. But you're using all your connections in the game, all the people you know that are coaches throughout the industry. The CPBL has been a great partner with us, and that's the elite baseball in this town. They have connections, so I'm obviously working all those connections to understand who's in the U.S., who can perform, who can compete at this level, and you really rely on those connections because you have to build them yourself, and it just takes time. So you're using, we've all been in the game for so long that we're well familiar with all the Canadian people that are involved in baseball, and you just use those connections to branch out, to reach out to players and understand who could fit and who might be an option for us year one, and that's how you build your roster. It's constant every day. You're working the phones or the text and the emails nowadays, and you just, it's just a slow build is how that network grows and grows and grows. So as we grow, we'll have even more people to draw from and even more connections in the U.S. where you're finding talent all over the place, clearly.
One bonus, Bubba, is that I can promise these players that I can get them seen by the Blue Jays, because the Blue Jays Canadian scouting guy is my son.
There you go.
It's just a little bonus.
Whether his son likes it or not, he's coming. That's right.
It's
a good point.
It's only when you're selling the players, when you drop that fact, ding.
Yeah. Chose the manager wisely, let's be honest.
Very, very well done.
That's right.
Hey, I looked at a couple of players. I know you've posted, congratulations to this player. We've signed this player, but there was a number of them that I kind of looked at, 5, 6 of them. I was like, okay, I got to learn a little bit more about some of these guys.
Correct.
The guy that caught me was Alex Keane.
Yes.
Can you tell me about Alex Keane?
Alex Keane is a huge talent. He came up through the Great Lakes Canadians, as I mentioned, in the CPBL. Big power bat, tall kid. Played first base, and they kind of moved him to the corner outfield because I think that's where the scouts want to see him. So he's at Moorhead State, and he's had a big year. I don't know if you looked that up. His sophomore year, I think he's had 12 doubles, 11 bombs, and as you know, in a college season, it's not exactly 160 games.
Oh, sure.
This kid's got immense power. So we're so excited to bring him on board, and we'll use him if he wants to play some first base, but I think he really will be featured as a corner outfielder. So if everybody wants to come down and see a real talent swing the bat with a legit power, Alex is your boy, that's for sure. So we're so excited that we were able to get him to come home and play for us this year. No question.
He's so tall.
Yeah. That's right.
He's incredibly tall, and again, we see him here with this. So I guess he played for Team Canada.
Yeah, correct. So he's been he's been with in Canadian baseball for a long time. So so we've got some. That's the point here. We're not, obviously, you also feature some local talents as well, but we got some real players in Canada, and we want to make sure you understand who they are, and this kind of. This kind of interview right here is the start of it. So people can come down and see some tremendous young players on their way up. They're aspiring talent. They have intentions to obviously get much further and to the next level. And we're providing an opportunity for them to play in a real elite league and expose themselves to more scouts and to the Canadian market. So we build the brand of Canadian baseball, and other Canadian players go, wow, I can do that as well. There's a place for me to come home and play in these elite leagues, because that never was the case for the most part. So.
Cheap comparison, Griff. The OHL, you're at that level, right, where the pros are within sight, but you still need a little fine tuning.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact of 38 of the players from this league playing in Major League Baseball in only 10 years is a great incentive to come back and play, and it's a condensed 46-game schedule over 2 months. And I think word of mouth is going to make next year's team even better for Mal. And so to do that, we need to succeed in year one. We need to play the best baseball. We need to never give up. We need to be aggressive. And we need to provide the type of entertainment that fans in the Golden Horseshoe want to see. And that will make next year's team even better.
And I think it's fair to bring this up because there will be questions, and you've probably even addressed this, Mal, is the fact that we do have, I think I look back, I think it was this is the 107th year of the Intercounty Baseball League, right? And we have teams here in Hamilton, the Cardinals, of course, the Welland Jackfish, who have been blowing it up. Have already won a title, I think, in 5 years. That's a different league.
It's a different product.
It's a different
and
product.
I had to say, I'm a big fan of the IBL. It's like you said, 107 years. They do a great job, and Ryan Harrison and the guys down in Welland. I mean, we're hopeful. We'll be lucky to get to where they're at from marketing standpoint, and we're hoping to build that brand. Like there's, in my opinion, there's a lot of room for baseball in this market, and I mean, I'm excited that they have a senior product. That thing is for senior players. Our guys are the college players, so it's an entirely different. I wouldn't be surprised that, down the road, guys could play in our league, and you can see them later play, in the IBL one day when they've finished with their career and they're playing in the IBL, because it's a tremendous league. It's a great product that they have, and but it's a different product. So we're not in the same league. It's a different brand of baseball. So big fan of the IBL as well. So
very important to establish.
We play in. We're the only Canadian team in the New York State League, and obviously that's a full Canadian league as well. So
absolutely, absolutely. Again, we're getting close to first pitch. Man, it's going to be so exciting. I'm excited. I'm sure people in the area are certainly thrilled. Can we talk about opening day where you get tickets? I know all this stuff is now. You've been working real hard to get this ready, because as you said, you're less than a month away.
Yeah, and our time frame, as you know, was condensed. It's year one, so you can get your tickets at ironbacks.ca. It's very easy to access them, and obviously we wanted to make sure it was a very affordable product, so I think you'll go on there and see that the tickets are extremely cheap, because we want to make sure everybody is able to experience that. Families, even people just a nice afternoon at the ballpark, and understand what we're providing, how great a brand of baseball is. We wanted the barrier for admission to be very small, and obviously as we build this, we want to have fun at the ballpark. I mean, it's just like everything else. Come out and have one of our DQ Brewing specialty beers, our Ironbacks Light Lager, and our Dead Red IPA that's going to be there for you. I mean, we're going to have it all. So June 7th is the opener. We're there June and July. I encourage everybody to get their tickets. We want to make sure that the opening game has a nice little buzz to it, and get everybody excited for what's to come this summer, and obviously many years to come as we build this thing out.
Griff, I'm looking at this date here, June 7th, Niagara Americans, big game, home opener. You've worked home openers as a PR man, helping out the media. You've done it as a broadcaster. You spent many years with the media. There's something about that opening day, right? Everybody's 0-0. Like that nostalgia, that feeling, especially when it's baseball, is special.
Yeah, just listening to Mal talk about it, my adrenaline has started to rush already. And there is something about opening day, because it's a fresh start for everyone. This is a new enterprise, a new team, so possibilities are infinite. And it's where you take it. It's the effort you put into it. But opening day is always, always special. And I've been at home and away openers since 1973, so that's a lot of opening days, and my adrenaline never stops from building up and exploding on that day, and I'm looking forward to June 7th.
One more in this, just as we talk about this, what is it about? And we've seen Bull Durham. I could go on and on about the amount of movies about, I'll call it minor league baseball. Why do we get this romantic feeling about baseball at that level?
It's because there's no camera telling you what you have to be paying attention to. There's so much going on. There's so many players out on the field. You sit there and you can look at the bullpen. You can take in the positioning in the outfield. You don't have to be following the camera like in a hockey game or whatever. And the game unfolds at a leisurely pace where you can talk to your companion. You can order another beer. You can have all sorts of things that you talked about with the nostalgia about baseball and opening days, and just looking around the diamond and the nice warm summer breeze. It's great. It's the best.
Niagara region, you've got a team to be very proud of, and I know they haven't even thrown out one pitch, but I'm going to tell you, based on the experience and the knowledge of these and the passion of these two fellas, you're going to have a great product, and I think we're really excited. I know on a media standpoint, the more the merrier, at least from my standpoint, when it comes to all sports. Mal, Rich, congratulations. We wish you the best of luck. continue the excitement, work the dream.
Right.
It's fantastic because it did start with a little idea from you to getting involved.
Yeah, this has almost been 2 years now at it. So, yeah, correct. Yeah, it's hard to believe it's almost here. So we're really, really excited. So I appreciate the kind words, Bubba. And, I encourage everybody to come out and find me when they're. I'll be there every game, obviously.
Signing autographs.
Yeah. That's Rich's job. The talent. You got to get the talent out there. No.
I'll be willing to talk to anyone in the stands because that's where I've spent a lot of my time, and I understand what it is to be a part of that scene of developing minor league baseball. And so I'll be there. If anybody wants to talk baseball, just wave at me and I'll come down.
Guys, good luck, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bubba.
Hey, that's your Sportsline podcast for the day. And yes, we love talking Hamilton, Halton, and Niagara sports. If you do know of an athlete, team, or event to promote the Sportsline podcast, you want to hear from you. Would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe, like, and thumbs up button. And if you have some words of wisdom for us, please comment. A reminder, this podcast world is alive and well on the CHCH and Parrot Media platform. For the outstanding people that make the Sportsline podcast possible, thank you so very much. And we'll see you next week.